Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Welcome to the Full 100. It's Friday today, the 17th of July, and it's a brilliant day weather-wise, guys, and I do believe it's going to be a brilliant weekend as well. Guys, today's topic, is Trump a Russian agent? No, seriously. How many of you has that crossed their minds? I know a lot of newscasters, definitely. But is Trump a Russian agent? Because there's some weird stuff going on, man. You know what? Let me say here first. You're gonna see Trump in prison after he's finished running the country. Trump will be in prison. He's gonna be. You see, there's 20 odd people that's been around him that are in prison right now, or pardoned or whatever, or been charged with crimes. Trump's going to be in prison. No two ways about it. And that will be the best day ever. It will be like the karma come home, the mother of all karmas. So guys, without further ado, let's get to today's topic. Let's get to it, guys. Right, so before we get to is Trump a Russian agent or not, I want to touch on some COVID updates, guys. We're struggling with this COVID thing, man. And even the countries that really actually did well are struggling same way. But countries that have had breaks, had good times, have gone back up. Australia, Hong Kong's on their third wave. Just numerous countries. Israel's on a second wave. Serbia on a second wave. The UK is locked down a couple of Leicester and Leicester really. So luckily we haven't had a second wave yet. But this is, you know what? We're in July. Nearly August. We're in this for the long haul, guys. Take a look at South Africa, Iraq, and Iran. And I'll see you on the other side.
1,000 cases across the continent so far. But for South Africa, one of the first countries to shut down, cases have sadly been skyrocketing. With nearly half of the continent's cases in the country alone, some residents are worried about what comes next.
I'm very, very worried. I think everyone should. It's something that is challenging a human life. It's something that can kill, that has the potential to kill maybe half of the population in the world.
So those measures, plus just a mandate on wearing masks that even could see business owners prosecuted if you don't wear a mask in their establishment, that's really the way they're going at this, sort of tightening the rules rather than going back into a full lockdown.
Iraq easing its virus restrictions even as the number of cases there is on the rise. More than 86,000 Iraqis have been infected and over 3,600 have died. Next week, the country will lift the lockdown for more hours of the day and reopen restaurants and malls. Airports will also open for the first time since March. And in Iran, a surge in new cases there has been reported in just the last 24 hours. So nearly 2,400 new infections. The death toll in Iran is now close to 14,000 and the number of confirmed cases nears 270,000.
The world's really struggling. The world is really, really struggling. And that's why it still boggles my mind. I mean, I've got close friends who still debate the mask thing. What they don't realize, is that this whole mask debate, and I'm not going to wear masks, is only because of who's in the White House. Try and tell them that and they won't believe you. If you had Obama in the White House wearing a mask and everyone's on the same page, these idiots here won't be talking about masks. No one will be talking about masks. You now have a developing situation in Georgia, Atlanta, where the mayor of Atlanta, a black lady, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who I've mentioned to you guys on there before. And I think when I mentioned it, I said mistakenly said she was the mayor of Washington, D.C., who wrote the Black Lives Matter. So if I think I did make that mistake, so I apologize for that mistake. But it's the same person, but she's actually the mayor of Atlanta. She's imposed masks as compulsory in her city. And the governor of the state is taking her to court. Can you believe this? This guy is taking a mayor who's brave enough to not shut down a city even, just say compulsory to wear masks, just like we now have here. and he's taking her to court. That's the sick, sick world we're living in, guys. Take a look at a quick roundup on the US.
Masks now mandatory for shoppers at major retail chains, and New York's governor taking a hard line as New York City readies for phase 4 of reopening. CNN's reporters are covering developments coast to coast.
I'm Erica Hill in New York, where Governor Andrew Cuomo said he is cracking down on restaurants and bars, calling it a 3 strikes and you're closed rule. This in response to complaints that many bars and restaurants around the state, and specifically in the downstate area, have not been complying with social distancing. And
I'm Ed Lavandera in Dallas. Texas health officials reporting 129 people have died of coronavirus. That is a record single-day high. And we've now seen more than 10,000 new coronavirus cases being reported for 3 days in a row. The positive infection rate remains around 17%, which has almost quadrupled in the last month and a half. And the state of New York is now sending help here to this state. New York is setting up 2 testing sites at Houston area churches that could test up to about 1,000 people per day, mostly in minority communities.
Christina Alessi in New York. Grocery store chain Publix became the latest retailer to require masks in all of its stores nationwide. It joins Walmart, Kroger, CVS, and Target that have all made announcements in the last 48 hours alone. Soon, Americans around the country will not be able to go to a big brand shopping unless they have a mask. The rise.
Welcome back, guys. And you know, you don't want to wish things on people, yeah? And on air or not, it's not, you don't do that because of karma, for the simple reason of karma, right? And I'm going to say this, it's hard for me to say this, but the only person I really wish COVID on, yeah, is Trump. But I think I'm too late. I think he already had it. Do you remember when he came out and he was all arms folded like a child, and he said, yeah, I've been taking hydroxychloroquine. I said, you are? Since when? Well, the doctor said I could take it, and now I'm just taking it to prevent it. And the world was like stunned because this thing could kill you. I think he caught it then, but I think he's such an ignorant buffoon, yeah, that whereas every other world leader tells you, yeah, all right, I've caught it. Bolsonaro, karma caught up with him. He's still got it. He's tested. He's been treated, but he's got the double dose. That guy's got, he's just tested positive a second time in the middle of the treatment of the first one. But the reason I'm saying this is this, guys. There's a old game show host or chat show host, game show host that's called Chuck Woolery. We don't know him. He's an idiot. A couple of last week he put a tweet out because he's a Trump head. Put a tweet out saying, yeah, everyone's lying to us. Fauci's lying to us. CDC are lying to us. The Democrats are lying to us. Yeah, they're all lying to us. This is not real. Guess what, guys? After he put that tweet out, Trump retweeted it. Never mind, the guy is saying stuff about his own people that he put in place. This guy, Chuck Woolery, he put out a second tweet. I'm not going to tell you what he says. Take a look.
Chuck Woolery tweeted that, quote, everyone is lying about coronavirus, including the media, Democrats, and the CDC. The former game show host announced his son has tested positive. You'll recall President Trump retweeted Woolery's comments. Woolery's latest tweet about his son was very different. He said, quote, to further clarify and add perspective, COVID-19 is real and it is here. My son tested positive for the virus and I feel for those suffering, especially for those who have lost loved ones. Woolery has since deleted his Twitter account.
So he's deleted his Twitter account. He's deleted it because his son's caught it. So now he's converted. I was speaking to someone a few days ago that says, yeah, a lot of my people I know, they had sicknesses. So what? So what? That the people you know have died, had ill. So what? They died. If COVID wasn't here, they'll still be here. You'll still be talking to them. Anyway, this Woolery guy, only last week he was one of the Trumps. Today he's deleted his Twitter account. Deleted it. Because his son's caught it and he's watching his son suffer. Sometimes the evil that we as parents do, they don't catch up with us. They catch up with our children and our loved ones. my heart goes out to Woolery's child. But Woolery, whatever you suffer from this, you brought it on yourself. Guys, I'm going to go over to the secret agent. The president of the United States in my lifetime is a Russian secret agent. Why? I'll tell you a few things that's happened. I didn't bring this to you guys last week, but last week, 2 weeks ago, British Secret Service, Canadian and Australian and the US Secret Service spoke up because it was declared that back in February or March, a report came out that Russian secret agents were paying Taliban people to take out US and UK soldiers on the front. What did Trump do? Trump said, "Oh, no one told me. No one told me." He said, "What do you mean? We put it right." Well, no one briefed me. So to cover their tracks, they're saying because it wasn't escalated, he wasn't told. But yet it was in the paperwork on his desk. So as a man who don't read, he probably just skipped it over it. However, that's what we're assuming. 2 days ago, some Twitter accounts got hacked. And I'm going to tell you what Twitter accounts got hacked. But we're going to come to that as a second story, right? Because first we're going to talk about the vaccines and the new hacking last night. It turns out Russian agents have been hacking UK, Canadian, and US vaccine trials, vaccine data. So all the companies and all the government agencies that are in the race for finding this vaccine, the Russians are in the race, but they're hacking our countries to see where we are, see what they can add to this to make their own vaccine. Trump has said, not said a word. He made a speech yesterday about bath water. Yesterday. Take a look at the full story, guys. It's diabolical. I really, seriously, I just want to move to planet Mars now because I just don't feel like I'm on planet Earth anymore. See you on the other side.
Developing this hour, Russia, not surprisingly, is denying intelligence from the US, UK, and Canada that Russian hackers have been attempting to steal coronavirus vaccine research. President Trump has said nothing about it, much like he said nothing about intelligence regarding Russian bounties on U.S. forces in Afghanistan. CNN's Matthew Chance, he's live in Moscow with more. And Matthew, what's interesting about this is one of these Russian hacking groups accused of attempting to steal this research, known as Cozy Bear, the intelligence term for it, were also involved in hacking the 2016 presidential election. So there's some history here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what the security services of both the United States, Britain and Canada have said jointly is that they've identified that Russian hacking group, Cozy Bear, as the group that is been involved in identifying vulnerable, kind of systems inside organizations that have been trying to develop a COVID vaccine in all three of those countries. And you're right, we've seen Cozy Bear before. It was one of the hacking groups that was believed to have infiltrated the Democratic National Committee surveys that were made yesterday that Russia had interfered in the 2019 elections, that's the general elections in Britain. So a double denial there issued by the Kremlin. But nevertheless, it's not on one level altogether surprising that Russia would deploy its formidable sort of intelligence gathering espionage resources on something like trying to garner information about what other countries are up to when it comes to finding a vaccine for coronavirus.
Guys, this is the last video. However, let me just say something quickly, because this next video is also another hack from the Russians. So now the hacking's begun. Elections up soon. So they've hacked for the vaccine. But I'm about to show you where they hacked Twitter accounts. Now, notice whose Twitter accounts was hacked, okay? Take a look at this video.
Other prominent names appearing. Right there you see some of the tweets to promote Bitcoin. But it was all a scam, and it took Twitter several hours to lock down this virtual assault. That's troubling anyway, but especially close to the 2020 presidential election, given what we went through in 2016. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan has more. This is sophisticated, to say the least.
Yeah, John, I mean, if just one of these accounts got hacked, you know, Joe Biden's account in an election year, it would be extraordinary in itself. But yesterday we saw multiple Twitter accounts from some of the world's most high-profile people being attacked, and right now we don't know a lot about what actually happened. Twitter has some serious questions to answer here. What that means is that Obama's account, Biden's account, Bill Gates' account, they were not hacked individually. Somebody hacked a Twitter employee, or in some ways convinced a Twitter employee, or coerced or tricked a Twitter employee to hand over basically the keys to the kingdom. And some serious questions here, John, about Twitter security.
Guys, I mean, listen to the roll call of people that were hacked. Joe Biden running for president, potentially our president of the United States by November. Well, to take power in January, but elected in November. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, who we know who he is, okay? The rockets right now that the US are using to go to the space station, he built that. Apple, President Barack Obama, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian West, Warren Buffett. For those of you who don't know who Warren Buffett is, he's the biggest hedge fund manager. He controls about, I heard, close to $1 trillion. So when he says invest in that company, woof, the whole world follows. I've been following Warren Buffett since 2002, 2003. And Jeff Bezos, who is Amazon. Do you know what all these guys have in common? They're all on the left wing. They all support good causes. They're all good guys. They are the enemy of the Trumps. So guys, my question is Donald Trump a secret Russian agent? And I'll stop there and let that question hang in the air. Some weird stuff going on, guys. Weird stuff. But listen, have a fabulous weekend, guys. And I'll see you all on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.